recording.
Oh.
Oh, I'm Morey White.
Oh, I'm Bob Nelson.
Oh, I'm Tracey White.
Oh, and I am Pastor Johnny Leckie, and this is the Compass O Church Podcast. Oh.
We will follow.
Oh. No. We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus.
I'm just waiting on you.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
And we're back.
I can play my role. I know my role. All right.
We each have our place to fill.
We all have a
our
spot.
spot on the stage.
Yeah, we're all special.
That's what Mama said.
In our own way.
That's
Just like everyone else.
Welcome to the Compass Conversation Podcast.
Yay!
Let's
Good
have
morning.
a conversation.
Okay.
All right, who shall we start with?
Counterclockwise?
Go back this way this time. Morey, how are you doing, man?
I am so not used to this, and I didn't have any time to prepare my speech. I'm doing.
Four score and 15 minutes ago.
Usually you have two other people.
I
to kind of
know, and I have a
formulate your
little bit of
thoughts.
time. We didn't set up the teleprompter.
Well, prompter's not ready.
It was a Monday,
Yes, indeed.
all day long. But, you know, it wasn't a bad day. It was in good spirits. Morgan set up all of the little cutesy inflatable Halloween decorations outside, so those are cool.
Awesome.
I like
Nice.
those. Those are fun. We got a new one. It's a tree, a big tree, and it's got a little pumpkin sitting to the side and this little cutesy ghost coming out of this one side. So, aw, that's cute. We had decided a long time ago to go cutesy instead of scary.
Very good. That way the children don't run away.
That's exactly it. They have to see me anyway.
They get their chance to run at some point.
Right.
So,
Oh, my soul.
right, I know these guys. All right, that. Yeah. Cut.
This is your opening remarks are now.
Their opening remarks have concluded. We now move to the debate section.
Let me get your chance to interrupt them.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do right now. Just every time anybody starts talking, just start interrupting. No,
Okay.
no, we're not even going there. Bob!
Okay. Well,
How are you, sir?
Had a pretty good day. It's fun when I can interact with my clients in a really interesting way. Like I was emailing back and forth with a client who felt she was a Neanderthaler, her words.
Neanderthaler?
Yeah, that's how you actually
She's
pronounce
Neanderthaler than she used to be.
That's kind of how the conversation went. But when it comes to finances, she just didn't. She's a cave woman, doesn't understand it. So I kind of built on that on some of my responses about information age, pulling you out of the Stone Age, but we would have to sacrifice trees for one bit his forms are needed. So it was just fun. It was fun back and forthing with her, and then I had a good conversation with another client who. I'm surprised he still had the name. His last name was Fuhrer. Very interesting. He was a great guy, super sweet. His wife was sweet.
Can I speak to the...
Yeah. I'm sure as a professor of the history of psychology, I probably got that a lot.
Yeah.
Or philosophy, not psychology.
goodness.
But it was great chatting with him. So I had a good day at work. It was nice.
That's good.
Cool. Fuhrer's making me think of
was kind of
Dr.
anti-Monday.
Strangelove. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good walk. All right.
And cut.
And cut. We'll cut that out.
We're done
Just cut
now.
all of that out.
All right. So went to see M in Albuquerque this weekend.
Yes.
Kathy and I drove down there.
Took a left turn.
Took a few left turns in Albuquerque. Took her car tour. It was great, but and obviously the highlight is seeing our daughter. Right?
Yeah.
It was really great to see her. But we did some cool things. We went to the botanical gardens there. We went to the beach. I'm trying to remember the name of it now, but now I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, ducks in the water, which were very entertaining. We witnessed an attempted murder.
What?
A couple of crows got around.
No, these two ducks, and they're called American coots. They're black with white beaks, and they are apparently very aggressive toward each other if they get like in their little territory of each other. These guys were going at it, and and this one ended up going up over it like it was like a wrestling match, right? But ended up getting the other one by the scruff of the back of the neck and its beak and holding his head under the water. And we're all three sitting there just going,
Where's the money? Where's the money?
okay, we're witnessing a murder.
Oh, my soul.
I'm sorry, this story is just cracking me up.
Somebody had to say it.
It's true.
It had to be Bob.
At any rate, the one duck came up, the other one didn't.
Oh no!
And we were like, oh my goodness.
Did he have like cement around his neck?
No. But just a few yards away, you see that a duck come up from under the water. So he had been released.
Attaboy.
Yeah, but it was violent.
That's pretty funny.
That
was
was
awesome.
like National
Pop up the funny
Geographic
little-
stuff there.
I got a video of that. That's
It
awesome.
was pretty cool. But we loved seeing Emmy. We miss her dearly and wish that she would have come home with us. But she's...
I got to talk to her.
Oh, good. Oh, wait, did you really?
I did. I really
I thought you were
did.
making that joke. Isn't it?
But the reason for my call was kind of funny. But
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morey thought I was in the Springs for drill this weekend. I was like, we're at Applebee's with Emily
kinda loosened up
in
the drill
Albuquerque.
weekends, haven't
Yeah.
because I was in the Springs, I was going to have dinner with him.
Yeah,
Oh, very
it would
cool.
have been fun. What about you, Johnny?
Doing really good. I do have sad news at the moment about my guitar.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I get a phone call and a message from the guy who works on the guitar, and he's like, yeah, it looks like it's more than just the bridge. It seems like a couple of things are loose in here. It looks like maybe several years ago someone had already tried to repair it. I'm thinking, had to have been many years ago because I've had this guitar for a long time, like well over a decade and a half or so. No, 20 years I've had
wow.
this guitar.
That'd be 2 decades.
I know the previous owner, and I know he probably did have some work done way back. But he was saying, yeah, and I have some rheumatoid arthritis, and this is going to take a whole lot of stuff. So he recommended another guy who he feels like could really do a good job. And in my head, I'm thinking, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. But so they're taking it back to where it came from tomorrow. And then I take it from there and then take it to the new guy. So it's like, oh, man. I was kind of hoping to play it Sunday.
Yeah.
But who knows? So there was that. And then another funny news. Should I tell this story?
Yeah.
So, all right. So
Because you said funny.
Yeah.
and this is our podcast.
all right. So the teacher I work with, she goes, and she's not watching. Chris is watching. She doesn't care if I tell this. So she goes up to me and she says, so tell me the names of your sons again. And I went, as a dad, you just immediately go, oh no. It was, okay, so there's Matthew, and then there's Michael. Wait, does he go by Mike? And I went, yeah. Did you have an interaction with him?
Uh-oh.
It's like, well, no. I just got a friend request on Facebook, and he has that ridiculous picture with him standing, kind of like, which he thinks is the most hilarious thing he's ever seen. It's like, it's inappropriate, but it's not inappropriate. It's just
Yeah.
awkward and
Yeah.
stupid looking. She goes, yeah, I got a friend request with me. She goes, I thought that was hilarious. Oh, okay, good. I said, yeah, he's just kind of goofy. He's just having fun. He thought it was funny.
Wow.
That was an interaction I had today.
That's cool.
But, yeah. All right, so we've been around the table. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's happy on a Monday. I'm
We're
only happy 'cause I got
smiling.
a
We're
bit.
happy. We're tired.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm not as tired because I don't take naps in the afternoon. I really don't.
But you did today.
I just had to. It was crazy.
Huh?
Leon and I both just came down.
You do what you got to do. I'm going to
Was
try
it
turning
awesome?
this up.
It
So.
was, but I'm going to regret it when I try to go to sleep later tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I try to stay up.
That's what I usually do.
Yeah.
But I was toast.
We'll see how that goes.
Because there's one other thing. At about 11:30 12:15, I was still awake last night.
Mm-hmm.
In bed, I was reading, and suddenly I remembered something. Every week, we put this sign at the school when we're not meeting at the school.
Yeah.
And I remembered it and went, oh man, we can't show up to the school and that sign still be there. And I went, I gotta go back get this. I literally had to get dressed again, put my contacts back in because I don't have a spare pair of glasses at the moment. Got in the car, had to go do it. So it wasn't a big deal. It takes, especially at that time of night, it only took about 5 minutes to get there and 5 minutes back. But
Still.
it just messed with my sleep schedule.
Yeah, because you're
I had to get up really early this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, it just wakes you back up again.
Troubles.
The trouble.
Is this the transitional statement?
Trouble.
Troubles. Like those two ducks having trouble in the pond.
Tribbles.
Trouble with tribbles.
Tribbles.
No, not tribbles.
Well, see, this one is blocking this from that camera. Who's got?
No, I'm blocking this with this. Blocking the monitor.
Oh, I see. All right. As long as you're on it. Well, all right. Yeah, good gathering yesterday. Like I said, we had a couple people who were trying to join us, and then others who wanted to watch it afterwards. I'm actually getting requests from people. I like that.
That's
Which
very
I hate
good.
that they missed it, but I'm glad that they want to see it.
We ran into Jaden and Ian at Sam's
What? Oh,
yesterday
good. Yeah.
yesterday afternoon. So
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, so
haven't
that
seen
was
you in a
good.
while. Yeah,
Hi,
Jaden
y'all.
was there.
yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah, she was there, and all smiles, and it was good to have her there. And also, who else was there? I think Annette was there. Leona was there.
We were in Albuquerque.
Melissa was there. Kyle was there. It was a good in-house number for us for that day. So,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, not too close.
Was the school not available, or are we just not really comfortable yet?
Couple of
Stepping back
things
into that.
on that. It was it was a good week to do it that way, following the Church
Big
on the Green
Sunday.
deal the week before, and we do have permission to be in the school again, but when you set those kinds of things up in the hallway with a conversation, you need to one more time confirm just to be sure everything's where it needs to be. And I started thinking through some of the logistics of that and thought, you know what, we're good. We're going to do this base camp gathering, and it ended up being pretty good that way. So I think there were a few people who actually enjoyed. I say a few people, I know at least one. Chris, hey, who literally went, it feels pretty good to be home today. I'm going to be online with you guys today.
That's
I went,
cool.
all right,
That's
great.
good.
So I love that option.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
so next week we will either be in the building, but if it's really nice out there, I hate to waste
I know.
the day. Now you're going to be gone.
Yes, but Morgan will be there
You will be there. Okay.
with the phone to
All right,
do
sweet.
that.
So the extended weather forecast says it's going to be cooler and possible rain on Sunday, but it is Colorado.
Yeah, they lied to us last time. Maybe
Right.
they'll lie
Boy,
to
did
us
they
the
ever.
right
They
way
got it
this
backwards
time.
for Church on the Green. It was Church in the Gray is what it was. Well, so we'll be in then, if it is like that, fortunately we can make that fast. We're saying where the location is, but
Yeah.
be inside or outside,
Right.
that decision can be made the night before.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
anyway,
Okay.
should be fun.
Sounds good.
You gonna be there?
Yes, but the following weekend is I'll bring the
Cajon.
Yeah, but the following weekend is our October drill weekend. Did I ever tell you why we do mid-month October? Because it's the beginning of the fiscal year.
Oh,
And there's too many years over the past 30 years. We have gone into the fiscal year and no drill weekend because there's no budget. And anyway, we end up sometime between the beginning of the fiscal year and the mid-month, with a continuing resolution most of the time. And that's how we pay for our drill weekend for October. So we wait
nice.
to see if there's money.
That's pretty funny.
What can you do?
Tax dollars are good. All right, so
Or not at work in some cases.
I'm not working.
We answer to the American people.
There you go.
There you go.
That's what we want
Yeah.
to hear. Keep up the good work, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, we will.
All right. Well, what do you guys want to talk about?
Troubles.
It's just a conversation.
Troubles.
There's no prep. As Morey has already displayed for us earlier. There is no print.
Yeah, you move my cheese.
That's right.
Your cheese or your chi?
The moving
know.
of
Is
the
there a
cheese
difference?
resulting in the moving of the cheese. So
There are troubles aplenty, and I'm especially a little heartbroken lately with some current events, to where there's troubles happening in different places and people are giddy about it, and that really, really bothers me. And I'm not talking about one event. I'm talking about more than one event.
Yes.
And this is, we don't talk politics or anything, but it is on both sides of that arena that I scroll through Facebook and my heart breaks because people are happy at the troubles of other people. And it's heartbreaking.
it is heartbreaking.
Very heartbreaking, brother.
So what do we do about that?
Well, the good news is that says
Pray-
something
pray for
about
peace.
that says something about question number 2. I think it was where's your, are you having a growing love for others? And that's I call that a good thing in your world, even if it's a bad thing in everybody else's world.
Yeah, sure.
It is. And also this whole idea that Jesus said in this life you will have troubles.
Yeah.
Troubles most often are the result of peoples.
And they are.
Yeah.
And they are. And so, being light in that kind of darkness. I mean, that's why I said we should expect the troubles. Because if we expect them, we're not hit too hard when people act and do things that are, not appropriate or sinful or whatever. We at least doesn't make it better, but it makes it a little bit easier to deal with. So
Yeah.
when people are acting that way,
I do
See the
want to
source.
just add one thing, that there are places in our country today where Christians, and not just Christians, but those who believe, are being shut down based on things. So we should pray for those people that are being kept away from fellowship. And some of the wonderful things that we get to enjoy, especially right here, where we get to talk. That is a specific trouble that if we can pray for that would be, everybody put that on their list.
Absolutely.
There be people being kept away, and there again, not getting into politics.
Yeah.
Just
The world.
it is the world.
The world's a hurting place, man.
It is a hurting place.
But you talked about learning and growing, growing during troubles. Because we talked about that a little bit last time, about building the endurance.
Yeah.
And that endurance is you learn as you go, and you get that wisdom. And in my head that really sounded beautiful, but when it came out, it was something totally different.
Yes, endurance.
I just
We're
gotta
just
say.
now beginning, really, even though we talked about it in the podcast last week, we're really just beginning to talk about what does that really look like.
Yeah.
It's like so many different things in life where we make a decision, we believe something in our head and our heart, and there's no doubt about it, we get it. And then the reality comes in, and you have to live through what we say we believe. And that's the thing about troubles. It's like, certainly as a pastor, I can say with great confidence, that we should ask God for wisdom during trouble. We can trust Him in trouble. Troubles are temporary. We have more to look forward to outside of this life. And I could say many of those things. And then get into my car, it doesn't start, or there's a flat. And I'm like, why, God? It's so different when it's like personal and in your face.
Sure.
But that is the nature of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I like the story you told about how God answered your prayer.
Yeah, man.
You need to tell that, because Tracy didn't get to hear that
Oh, you
yet.
didn't get to hear that story?
No, I heard
a
it.
traveling story.
Yeah, I caught some of it. So just to make sure everybody knows, I didn't ignore the message.
No, you did not.
We weren't here.
Sorry.
And I did.
They didn't hear the pre.
I did
podcast.
bring it up on Facebook, but I was not able to commit my full attention to it due to work.
Sorry, brother.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah, I forget
the
that.
bus I'm trying to crawl up from under.
No, there's no bus.
Yes.
No. See, you're just explaining because most people don't realize there's a conversation before our conversation, and we forget that they haven't heard that part of the conversation.
That's true.
We're just all saying Tracy doesn't really know. Tracy doesn't really know. We didn't say why you wouldn't. Except you did at the beginning. You said you were out.
I did, yeah.
That's right. Well, anyhow, so the gist of that was it was a moment. By the way, that trip that Leona and I took with her brother Keith was a deal where we left on a Saturday morning from Fort Worth with the goal of just driving in this motorhome nonstop. We're going to straight drivers, and so I can lie down the back, keep going. And we were going to be there by Monday afternoon in Anchorage, Alaska. All right, so just a straight drive right up to Canada, then up to the Alcan. That's what it was going to be. And knowing Keith and knowing me, it's going to happen, man.
We were something similar.
We were determined. But yeah, as soon as first part of the drive into Colorado, up through Colorado Springs, the whole drive shaft of this thing we heard a kung, and then and it had just started to rain. So I didn't even tell that part of it.
Go big.
That whole, I could tell, like I said, there are like 4 or 5 stories to tell about that trip. I just chose one. So when we got into Canada, we heard a knocking is really what happened, and realized once we stopped that the alternator, a bolt holding the alternator in, had come loose. So the alternator was kind of rattling around there. And so when we drove in, it was just as this garage was closing, and my brother-in-law, he just kind of talked with me, hey man, we're in trouble here, we just need to fix it. Can I just borrow the tools to do what needs to do? They went, well, okay, you can do that. And so it was hot, and it was
Mosquitoes.
muggy, and giant mosquitoes. He had his shirt off because he was bending over, and it was such an embarrassingly stupid thing for me because my job was to stand there and swat mosquitoes like with a magazine off of his back. So the indignity.
Swatting pterodactyls.
Well, I was tired at the end of the day too. We'd already had trouble back in Colorado. That, by the way, that part ended up taking a couple of days. So we were parked.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then he was out working on the drive shaft in a Walmart parking lot. I mean, it was ridiculous. But anyway, so I was already kind of like, and with that heat and just being sweaty and me having to do this stupid thing, hitting him, slapping him, I wanted to whack him in the head. But he was fixing the car, or the motorhome. And I did. I had one of those responses to my trouble that many people have all the time. But it was like a visible thing. I mean, I literally, and I've never done this. It's almost like not Monty Python, but who's the one main guy? John Cleese and Faulty Towers, where he's at one time he's like shaking his fist up at God, And I just kind of turned and looked up like that. I mean, a physical turn, up, like looking up at the sky.
Little wind.
A little wind. A little wind.
You heard that part.
Oh my soul. And again, it sounds like one of those sort of made-up for effect stories. Yeah. I'm not kidding. Less than a minute. I said it was about 15 seconds. Yeah. This was many years ago. Somewhere, it was definitely less than a minute. Yeah. The breeze began. Wow. And then it got stronger. And then it got cold. And then leaves were blowing. And I was like, what have I done? I'm sorry, God. So you want a little wind? I'll show you a little wind. Like I'm going to tell God what to do. Right.
That's funny.
But yeah, that was crazy. And it was one of those things where where God obviously does something, and it's kind of hard to explain away. Or you pray something and then something happens in such a way. It was kind of like that. I was just reminded. It's like, here's the deal. Kind of what he was telling me that I didn't understand at the moment is like, oh wait, there's more to this trip. You're not there yet, dude. We didn't even get there till the following Friday.
So you're 2-day long over the thing, week and a half.
Well, it took a week, a full week anyway. So we left Saturday morning, we arrived the following Friday.
Gotcha.
We were supposed to get there on Monday, and this was for Leona's sister's wedding.
Oh.
And yeah, Leona was in the wedding, and we
They have
got
to
there.
postpone for that or anything? Or?
No, the dress rehearsal. Dress rehearsal?
Yeah.
That's the theater thing, isn't it? Or the rehearsal.
Rehearsal dinner.
Rehearsal dinner, all that happened Friday night.
Wow.
So we got there Friday morning, and oh my goodness. But yeah, that was my snarky reaction to God, and he just reminded me who he was.
Well,
You know,
and you learned in that situation.
I did, man. I
you know what's funny is we've talked more than once about things that happen, and a lot of people chalk it up to coincidence or
Oh yeah.
something like that. But there's just some things that happen that you're like, that God's hand is in that.
Yeah.
We talked about when Kathy and I, when her grandmother died, and
Yes.
the timing of all that, and how we were right there where we needed to be by accident, right?
Yeah.
Or was it?
Was it accident? No.
Or was it?
True story.
Tagline.
Yeah.
I mean,
But that kind of thing happens all the time, and when I think it's good to recognize that
Yeah.
I think God speaks through us through, even if it is coincidence, we're spoken to through that.
well, I mean, I brought up last week how 4 weeks after I came to Christ, I was out of a job, and what I didn't mention, which I mentioned in my comment on online, was that the 2 weeks prior to that were great. Everything was going wonderful, and then I give my life to Christ, and it all falls apart. But it was for a very specific reason. I had so much pride in me. I mean, I was an arrogant son of a gun.
Yeah.
So I needed some teardown, and he worked it quick.
Yes.
Let's start here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good though.
You know why God does those things, though? Because He loves us.
He loves us. Do you say, Morey?
Do you know how much He loves us?
How much
much?
does he love us?
He loves us so much that He gave His only Son. And whoever believes in Him will not perish but have eternal life.
Yeah.
John 3:16.
John 3:16.
John 3:16.
Read it. You're so right, my friend.
I love it.
That love reminds me also of the fact that when we pray, that God actually does answer our prayers and responds in a variety of ways. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, sometimes
Gust of
wait, sometimes gust of wind in your face. But what is amazing to me is that sometimes people will pray, God, please help this situation, or please provide this, or whatever, something very specific. And then a few days later, that very specific thing happens, and what do? It's
They
kind of
don't
like,
say thank you.
you don't even acknowledge that. Oh, well,
Yeah.
what a great coincidence. I'm glad people have been thinking about it for me. And they're not making the connection that God specifically answered their prayer. Well, I sure am lucky. Or they don't say anything.
I could say I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, it's very easy to do. It's like you're not realizing, we prayed about that 3 days ago. God did respond.
A couple months ago, we were doing our Wednesday check-in, you went, wait, a lot of these things are answered prayers. You realize that,
Right.
Even just in that, we'd kind of forgotten we'd been praying about those things,
exactly.
and things were moving in the right direction.
Wow.
Got to always remind yourselves of that because it's so easy to do. During trouble in particular. Like I said, even that God responding with that wind, certainly it was a way to kind of keep me from trying to be obnoxious to God, if you can even be. But aside from that, it was a tangible reminder that even though we were going through some difficult things, that it wasn't like God didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
He was with us,
Right,
even
still
in
in
the middle
control.
of that. Yeah. So that actually gave me a little bit of confidence for the other things that happened. Maybe I'll tell
One of the things, imagine showing up 20 minutes after the garage had closed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other times, might as well I quit teasing this thing. But I mean, because the alternator was messed up, that ended up affecting the battery, and then because that was messed up, there were some other things that affected the total electrical system, where like all the lights and everything went off, and then everywhere we ended up having trouble. It was where there was ready help. So even with the garage, and then there was another place where it was me. I'm like, oh man, I was like, sorry guys, whatever. And I went and I fell asleep. I woke up inside of a garage. It was a weird thing. I was like, oh my goodness. But then there was closer to the end, we're on the Alcan Highway, that stretch between Canada and back into Alaska, where it was sort of dirt road wilderness, and we had another break. Well, Keith is awesome and everything, and so, I mean, I have a picture of this. I have a picture of this motorhome on the side of the road. This looks like the middle of nowhere, this wilderness land. And but I had this long conversation with God at this point. And Keith was working on it. I was like, you know what? Everywhere we've been readily protected. Every time. Breakdown, we're right by this. Breakdown, there's somebody that helps us right here. Breakdown again. There was like 5 different problems. But this time, nothing. I thought, are we going to just be stuck out here? You know, I'm trying to think, do we have enough food? How long are we going to be stranded here? And I made that connection finally. God, you've been with us every time. I said, God, I trust you to deal with this. Whatever happens, I'm with you. And again, this sounds like the biggest preacher tale of all time, but I'm not kidding. 3 minutes later, we got it started.
There you go.
We were back on, and we kept going. It was almost as if God was trying to
All right,
speak.
Johnny, you got it. Right?
Finally, you're getting what I'm trying to tell you
Yeah.
here. I'm with you in the good and the bad, so I might tell more of that story to everybody else later for those who don't hear it on the podcast.
Spoilers.
But that was, it was a powerful lesson for me, and this was when I was pretty young too.
Yeah.
I mean, Leon and I were still dating. We weren't married yet.
Murray.
We got
Married.
Americans.
But we had the best chaperone of all time on that trip. It was our brother.
They're a big, muscular, chubby brother.
He was good.
So my brother will be going with us, and he's armed.
But that was just a great. I mean, it's the kind of lesson you learn that you can't really learn any other way, right? So you could tell somebody could have told me, and I could have even probably taught the Bible study about that very thing. But until it's so internalized through your experience, you don't have it as deeply as you could, and so that's in part why God allows us to go through some of these things, it builds a different kind of endurance deep within and a trust in Him.
Takes a conscience.
Straight back to that passage from James. Your faith grows, your endurance grows.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Sometimes it takes that conscious effort, though, for an acknowledgement and everything. It's like yesterday we were driving back from New Mexico, and Kathy's sister called, said, hey, there's 4 of them in the little household, her and her 2 kids and grandson, all tested positive for COVID. So they're all in quarantine. And we were south of the Springs at the time. They live in Monument. This is Stacy.
Yeah, Stacy.
Get better, Stacy.
Get better, Stacy.
Get better, Stacy. I'm dead tired. Just want to get home, And Kathy's on the phone with her and like, well, do you need anything? Do you want us to drop by the grocery store? And I'm like, sure, if y'all could bring us a couple of things, and I'm grudgingly just okay, and get off the highway and go to it. But we're in the grocery store, and it's like, you know what, this is where we needed to be right now. They needed our needed our help. So it was, it took a conscious effort to go, okay, all right, I get it. My attitude's in the wrong place, and thanks for calling me out on that.
Thanks for calling me out on that, God.
Okay, that wasn't really a trouble.
By the time it was all said and done, it wasn't a trouble.
No.
And I left all the stuff on their porch, because
Awesome, good for you.
wanted to. But they were talking through the window and everything, and they were very appreciative, and we got to tell them we love them, and if they need anything, let us know. And
If there's anything we as a church can do, also let us know. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, they're doing fine. By the way,
That's good.
Good.
like very, very light symptoms,
Good.
and they're doing fine.
Fantastic, man. Love to hear that. Well, How much time do we have? Okay.
I don't know. I'm not timing anymore.
That's right. You never time.
8 minutes on the card. Oh, we've gone long. So 7 minutes on the card.
Great,
Just
Scott.
changed. Great,
Well,
Scott.
is there anything else about what we talked about on Sunday you guys will talk about? No, we mentioned James and a little bit about who James is.
Yeah, we did.
Jesus' brother.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's Josephus or Eusebius.
Gotta go back and look. I really hate it when I say something and then I go, wait, and I need to go back and look at my notes again. The study prep.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Dad once taught a lesson on Moses and the Ark.
He did. He did. Preached the whole sermon. Sorry, Dad.
Oh, well, a person in my family who I won't name, Bill, I won't name Bill because he's already named Bill. Hey, just shooting straight. So anyway, yeah, when he was very young in ministry, this was right when everyone began to hear about anorexia, right? So early days of people even knowing what that was. Yes, Lord. Speak, your servant is willing. Anyhow, so he did a whole message thinking of this disease, this problem of anorexia, and comparing it to how spiritually we sometimes starve ourselves, right? So he spent the whole message talking about spiritual anexoria.
Anexoria.
Anexoria? Ooh. What is that?
I kind of want to. Is it an actual thing?
I feel like
It feels like
If it is, I don't
when
know.
you get to you're a city and you like start annexing things. You suffer from annexoria.
There
Or
you go.
maybe it's a
dysphoria.
dinosaur that
I can't
out.
stop annexing things.
You're
Be a
right.
good name for a dinosaur or a bug.
That's just weird. All right. All right, guys. It was good to talk to you guys tonight.
Likewise.
Anything else we need to talk about before we do our final words?
Probably. That's right. We're good.
We're good.
All good.
Awkward silence. All right. Well, hey, you know what? You can join us every week at 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings. You can find us on Facebook at Compass Church Colorado. We hope. If you like the page, I guess. I don't know. We had a little bit of a glitch Sunday. But if you can't, then try to send us a message through Facebook or send an email, Johnny@compassdenver.com, and we'll try to fix that situation for you. But join us this Sunday at 10. We're also, we will meet in person somewhere, sometimes in homes, sometimes on the green, sometimes at school. But check our website, compassdenver.com. We would love to have you as our guest this Sunday. All right, guys, final words?
Love you guys. Love everybody else.
Oh, likewise.
Peace.
Oh,
Y'all. Oh.
True story.
Oh, peace. Oh, y'all.
peace. Oh, grace and peace to you. That's all we have for tonight, and we are out. Oh.
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 Fade to black.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh.